Welcome to the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Shauna.
I am so excited to chat with you. I feel like it has been a while. I've lived some lives. I've seen some things since then. How are you surviving this 115-degree weather?
You know, it hasn't been too bad lately. It is supposedly monsoon season here in Phoenix, but it's been kind of hit and miss the last couple years. And we did get a little bit of rain a couple weeks ago, so it hasn't been terrible, but I don't know. I've lived here for 36 years. I'm used to it by now. And I have a pool. Not to brag. That is quite nice. I have a pool.
I am living in the pool. My friend and I were chatting, and she was like, I literally just took my bra off after a call, and I swear that it made a splat noise because I was so hot and sweating. And it made me be like, wait, should there be special bras for the desert? Like almost like a swimsuit material.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, I know. I'm giving away this idea for free.
And like a pocket on each titty that you could put like a gel ice pack into.
Oh.
Yeah, like a cooling pad on the tits. That is brilliant.
I love that. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
You would be quite nipply, but
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
We could put extra padding over the nipple if we wanted to, if you didn't want to be nipply. Or we could have the Kim Kardashian version with the built-in nipple.
Yeah.
In case you wanted to be nipply.
Yeah, I want everyone to know I'm cold.
We'll have one with fake piercings on it. It'll be great.
So, if you steal that idea, just credit me in some way. I love how I come up with that idea after I leave the desert.
Your titties were super sweaty. It's fine.
Yeah, they were just, under boob sweat, really a big thing. I will say, I went back to Phoenix for 4 days, and I got to have lunch with Shauna, which was lovely. I will say, you forget how bad it is quickly. Like, I was under boob sweating like a mofo. I burned my hands on the steering wheel.
Oh, my God. See, I don't burn my hands anymore. And the underboob sweat, I just lift the tit and put a little deodorant under each one.
Okay.
You gotta put deodorant under your boobs.
Bro hacks from
Phoenix
Desert
hacks.
Girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Lived in Phoenix for a very long time. But since then, since my quick jaunt to Phoenix, I actually got to see Lady Gaga live.
So I told Andrew, I was like, I'm going to be really petty for a minute. And I'm like, I'm mad at Olivia. And he's like, why are you mad at Olivia? I'm like, I'm not actually mad. It's just like, I try so hard to not be jealous of other women. And I was so painfully jealous of you that I became a person I didn't like. And it made me mad because I was so fucking jealous. Was she just incredible?
So first of all, it was amazing. That was the first time I'd ever seen Gaga live, and it was great. It was Mayhem Ball, so she played a lot of Mayhem tracks, and then of course like the hits. Mm-hmm. I would say, so the ultimate pro tip for anyone who likes to be a little bit bougie and also see the pop girlies. Mm-hmm. If you live in a place or near a place where a show is, look 2 to 3 days before the show goes live, and you will see tickets that were like $3,000 drop like a ton. That's what I did for Taylor. We got box seats for Taylor Swift at SoFi Stadium, which normally would have been like $5,000. They dropped a ton, and we got them for $800, which is a lot of money. I'm saying this from a place of extreme privilege. Mm-hmm. But because of that, I went with one of the owners of my company to Taylor Swift. Her and I are both like big pop girl fans, and we saw that Lady Gaga was playing, and we're like, do we do what we did for Taylor and just wait to pull the trigger and see? And
how much did you end up paying for them?
$400.
Oh God!
But we got box seats for that, and it was open bar, and free food. And it was actually really good food. So like I was like, okay, I'm drinking. I have a private bar. I have a private bathroom. I'm literally so close. Like I could see embellishments like on her. Now, of course, you're in a box, so you aren't on the floor. Floor tickets were like $400 as well, which was crazy.
Tickets were $400. That's insane.
Yes.
See, they were $400 when I looked, but I also had to consider if I went to San Francisco because she's not coming to Phoenix, I would have had to pay for the tickets and the flight. I would stay with you for free, so that's nice. But we're going to spend so much money on food and alcohol, and I'd need a new outfit. And I'm like, I just can't make that happen right now. I am going to see Ghost in a few weeks, but that's easy. Nice. They're just going to be in Phoenix. And then 9 Inch Nails in September, so that should be fun. But I'm not mad at you anymore, but I was for like an hour.
Night. Yeah. For the night. You're like, this bitch. Yeah. You're like, she's not even a little monster. Yeah. It was so fun.
It's like, she better have a newfound respect for Gaga after this.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I mean, I think it's like one of those things. So I have decided if it's something iconic and like I like the music and maybe I'm not like a diehard like Swiftie,
it's worth it.
I'm still going to do it. It's going to be amazing and cool. And so this weekend, Dead & Company is having their 60th anniversary show here. And the Grateful Dead.
Oh, I was like, Dead & Company. Who the fuck? Oh, the Grateful Dead. Incredible.
The Grateful Dead. It's their 60th anniversary show. It's in Golden Gate Park. Sturgill Simpson. Right. They're old. It's their, and Sturgill Simpson is their opener. I'm going. So I've dropped a lot of money on concerts in the last few days. But then, so this weekend I'm going to that, and then next weekend, the weekend after that is Outside Lands. So I am just about to see an insane amount of artists and everyone. My resolution for this year is also to see as much live music as possible. So I am
so happy for you. Yeah, you are doing a great job. I don't know. I've gone to my fair share this year, but I got to step it up. I was supposed to go to Warped Tour this weekend, but I bought the tickets like way before the lineup even came out. And then eventually I was like, none of these are really doing it for me. And I just ended up selling them. So
yeah, I was looking at When We Were Young, like that's upcoming. Looks pretty good, but we would have to go to Vegas. So
oh damn. No, my next trip is to see you, bitch. I can't have any more trips. I have to save some money.
Yes, exactly.
Labor Day weekend.
Yes. And, that's what happens when you are childless. I was about to say marriedless, actually, when you are single, because there are truly some dangers to being married.
It's
true.
We're
going to talk about that when we come back from our next break. Marriage can be scary, right? We always hear about these crazy stories of cheating, infidelity. But what happens when we see married couples who murder? Pop culture has always been obsessed with the husband who has a secret. But what are some of the most iconic marriage killers and people who stick with us throughout the years, throughout the many iterations of Hollywood? Who are the most iconic murderous couples? And Shauna, I want to start with who you think is the most iconic murderous married couple.
Ooh,
they don't have to both be murderers, but
that is interesting. Most iconic. Actually, I think the most iconic is probably going to be one of the movies that I chose to talk about, which is Jack Torrance from The Shining. So we'll get into that a little more in depth. But I think when I think of like your husband snaps and goes crazy and wants to kill, that's what I think of. Or, oh God, what's that movie? Ryan Reynolds is in the remake and they're in the house.
Amityville?
There you go. There it is. Amityville.
Amityville Horror.
Which may or may not be a true story. So that's pretty iconic too. And I guess if we're talking about a movie where they're both, quote, killers, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They're both like hitmen, hit lady. So, it's not like the horror killing, like they're murderers, but They kill people for money.
There's murder, no doubt.
There's murder. A murder most foul. Murder.
I would say, you have some like people who you wouldn't necessarily like put into that category, like Tony Soprano, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, within that. But I always think back to the characters that you kind of see either trying to murder each other, or there's this finding of a big secret that they murdered someone, and it's like, are they gonna move into it and help them cover it up? Are they gonna try to get out? Like, I think that's such an interesting story. We've seen it so much in pop culture, or it just in true crime as well. And so I want to know, what do you think is the most iconic movie or TV show?
So TV show, not on my list either, but Dexter comes to mind here too, which I am obsessed with. I haven't started the newest season where it's, surprise, he's not dead, but I really want to. It's gotten good reviews so far, but obviously Dexter is a serial killer and he is married. He hides it from his wife, Rita. Obviously, R.I.P. Rita, season 4. I'm just spoiling this show, but it came out so long ago that whatever.
Yeah. I think you've done that over the course of many episodes talking about Dexter.
I love Dexter, dude. We had like a Dexter premiere party, me and some of my girlfriends back in the day for the final season, had like cupcakes with like bloody syringes and the Barbie doll all chopped up. It was great. But yeah, Dexter, I think, is probably one of the most iconic TV show, like, he's a killer and his wife doesn't know situation. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you can think of?
And I think of iconic killers that just stick with you. I mean, you have to go like Walter White within that as well. Like,
yeah, that's true. He definitely is a killer. It's like when you first think about it, you're like, oh no, he's not a killer. Wait. Yes, he is.
He's murking people. Yeah.
He is murking people. And then Skylar like sticks with him and, not very happy about it, but she does.
Yeah. Yeah. And both of us brought 2 movies that we want to really dive into and talk about a little bit deeper, the ones that have stuck with us throughout the years. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll dive in. So we're talking about movies and maybe even some streaming shows thrown in there where 2 spouses absolutely have it in for each other. Maybe one wants the other dead. One's trying to actually hide that they have a big fat secret and are willing to kill each other to keep it a secret. While we see this a lot in cheesy Lifetime movies, maybe like as Shauna said, A Murder Most Foul is the name of it. There's a specific mainstream film that is all about romantic mayhem. But before we start looking at Marriage Gone Wrong, now is the time to remind you about the Patreon. For a small investment in our podcast, you'll receive a personalized shout out, a first look at our PCJ pop episodes, and for a little bit more, you can get a sneak peek into our video content and our uncensored regular episodes. You can go to patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast and subscribe right there, and we'll be sure to remind you about that later.
Yeah, we will.
So, as I mentioned, we have The Roses coming out shortly, which is actually a remake of 1989's War of the Roses. We have, powerhouses Benedict Cumberbatch, Olivia Colman, Andy Samberg, Kate McKinnon, Allison Janney, and more.
That's a stacked cast.
Yeah,
damn.
Amazing, right? Colman and Cumberbatch play soon-to-be exes whose marriage goes very, very bad, and they battle over who gets the house in the divorce. And this comes out on August 29th. And it got us thinking, what are some couples that you have just seen in cinema where you're like, things are going to go wrong, and oftentimes a little bit murderous?
A little murdery. So I think a good example of this, and maybe they don't quite kill each other, but everyone thinks they do, is the movie Gone Girl from 2014.
Such a good one, yeah. Always stuck with me.
It sticks with you from the minute you see it. It's just so unnerving, and the way she looks at the camera and just like she's definitely a murderer.
Yeah.
So it's based on the psychological thriller Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So the film is directed by David Fincher, and it follows the mysterious disappearance of Amy, who is played by Rosamund Pike, and the ensuing media frenzy and police investigation, while her husband Nick becomes the prime suspect. And Nick is a shithead, right? So come to find out, Amy staged the entire disappearance and made this elaborate scheme to make it look like Nick killed her because she wants to frame him for murder to get back at him from cheating on her. And also just to kind of get like the power of the relationship back into her hands. They definitely have kind of it kind of seems like in the beginning of the movie, that's kind of where their passion is drawn from, is kind of just being like antagonizing each other. And she needs to get that control and revenge back, stages her own death, leaves, and frames Nick Ben Affleck for murder.
Yeah, I honestly think this movie is so iconic. Like, Rosamund Pike is so good in it. Honestly, her cool girl monologue, I will think about that till the day I die. Yes. Ultimately, like, the writing within that is, and the way she delivers it is just so good. And like, not all women see themselves within her, but like they can see when that monologue happens. Like, if you've ever dated men, like you will be like, oh yeah, like they want the cool girl, they want this. And you do not agree with her. Obviously she has a personality disorder, but you see how she could get there. Like, it's really like one of those early good for her movies.
It makes sense. Like, you wouldn't go that far, but you can see why she got to that conclusion, and you do find yourself going, good for her.
Yeah.
The scene where she kills Neil Patrick Harris and like slits his throat while they're having sex stuck with me for so long, in his like sad limp dick just falling over to the side. And then she ends up coming home just drenched in blood and is like, now you got to deal with this. Like, and how do they keep this marriage going? How do they keep this relationship going? Do they, after everything that they have put each other through, after her being like, now you see what I'm fucking capable of, right? So she took that control back in the relationship. And I love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's just ultimately like so good. It is like one of those femme fatale women. And, you know, I actually think one of the movies that I picked really contrasts with this well. I think it's kind of interesting to see. You said it came out in 2014, right? Mm-hmm. The way that this type of character has evolved, because one of my favorite like romantic mayhem murderous women is actually Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct.
I've never seen Basic Instinct. I know. It occurred to me recently when Andrew and I were talking about like showing vagina in movies.
Okay.
And I was like, oh yeah. That's like the most iconic show your vagina scene of all time. Like,
for as horny of an individual you are, how have you never seen Basic Instinct?
I don't know, but I should. That should be my next watch.
Yes, it's also set in San Francisco. So I actually, when I first moved here, like the week I moved here, I was like, I gotta watch Basic Instinct.
And The Princess Diaries.
Yes, yeah, you know.
Back to back.
Yeah, you know, both femme fatales, you know.
Double feature. It makes sense. It just makes sense.
But Catherine Trammell, you know, iconic open the legs shot that we've all seen parodied so many times, and is what you know. Unfortunately, I think Sharon Stone is most known for is probably this character. But this movie came out in 1992, and it is known as an erotic thriller. And Michael J. Fox is, or no. Michael J. Fox.
I was like, wow, I really want to see this now. That sounds amazing.
Michael Douglas is in it.
That makes more sense.
Michael Douglas is in it. Sharon Stone is in it. And it really is like this femme fatale. She's playing like these power games with the detective, Michael Douglas. And it's really kind of about like obsession and control. And she's playing like kind of this cat and mouse. So the detective is investigating her for murdering her husband. And so he kind of like meets her at this moment, but he becomes like enthralled and like obsessed with her. And she is just like the hottest woman you have ever seen. Everyone is obsessed with her. She exudes sex. Like she's
Don't
like,
say whether or not she did kill her husband, even though this movie came out in 1992.
1992.
Because I want to see it now.
Okay, yeah. And it is, defined as the 90s, like, erotic thriller. I mean, honestly, I think that it is such a unique movie, and I want more movies like it, where it's just, like, I do think, like, Gone Girl is kind of, like, our generation's, like, version of that. Amy Dunn is a lot more multifaceted than, the way that Sharon Stone is portrayed in it, or I guess Catherine Trammell is portrayed in it.
I think that might just be like the progression of how female characters are written too over time, right?
Yes.
Like 2014, and it's based on a novel. It's like, yeah, she sucks, but how did she get to this point? Why is she doing what she does? And the husband fucking sucks too, so they're kind of meant to be.
Yes, and it is kind of like a whirlwind that we get caught in. But yeah, I really love that movie, and I think it's so interesting. So you don't get to see the marriage that makes her a murderous spouse, but the parts you do get are just great.
I am going to add that to my list.
Yeah, to be watched.
Yes, the to-be watched movie list that I have in my phone. So I mentioned this earlier in the episode, but I do think one of the most, if not the most iconic, like killer spouse movie of all time is The Shining. The Shining came out in 1980. It is a horror film directed by Stanley Kubrick based on the Stephen King novel. So it centers on Jack Torrance, who's played by Jack Nicholson. He's a writer who accepts a job as the winter caretaker of the remote Overlook Hotel located in the mountains, and he brings his wife Wendy with her amazing cigarette with the long ash and their son Danny, who has psychic abilities called the Shining that is kind of dived into more in the sequel, which is called Dr. Sleep. So in this movie, there's malevolent forces in the house that slowly start to drive Jack insane. All work and no play makes Jack a very dull boy. He starts, writing that over and over again in his typewriter. He's seeing ghosts. He's hallucinating. Or maybe the ghosts are really there because Danny's seeing them a lot too. There's a naked lady in a bathtub. There's some twins in the hallway. There is blood coming out of the elevator. And then that famous scene where he finally snaps and is chasing Danny and Wendy through the hotel with an axe, breaks down the door. Here's Johnny. Just amazing and iconic. And eventually, oh God, now I'm spoiling the fucking Shining, but you know what? Whatever. Leads them into the maze where Jack meets his frigid demise. But the entire adventure that gets us there is twisted, and you don't quite know if the things that they're seeing are actually there, if they're imagining them. That picture in the end, we don't know if that means that Jack's been absorbed into the house or if he's been there before. It's one of those movies that is kind of left up for interpretation a little bit at the end, even though I guess Dr. Sleep kind of ties up some of that. But just a forever endearing, like, classic horror movie, and probably one of the most classics of all time.
Yeah, you honestly cannot beat Kubrick like anything. No. I think he's just like such a master filmmaker, and I could go on forever about like different little things in there. But because I love that movie so much, one of the times that I went to Denver, we actually drove up to Estes Park.
I love Estes Park. It's so cute.
Yeah, and so we toured the Stanley Hotel, which is the hotel that Stephen King stayed in when he wrote The Shining.
Oh, that's cool.
And so they do ghost tours. They talk about like all these sightings. We went during the day. I do want to go at like for one of the night tours where they do like a fake seance or whatever. I am extremely sensitive to elevation though, so it did not do well up there. It's like 11,000 feet above sea level there. It's crazy. But fun fact, also where they filmed Dumb and Dumber. So
I did know that actually. I don't know why.
I told you. Yeah.
Like, it's probably you who told me that. I've been to Estes Park also, and it was beautiful, but I am also very sensitive to elevation, so could not stay for very long.
They basically were like, if you feel like a ghost is touching you, it's probably not that. It's probably you getting elevation sickness, and you should sit down. And I'm like, got it. I should go sit.
You think it's a ghost, you're actually just passing away, so you should probably go to lower altitude.
Yeah,
maybe that's how they get the ghosts. You just die from elevation sickness.
Other fun fact is Stephen King hates the Stanley Kubrick interpretation of the book. He hates the movie.
No way.
He hates the movie. Yep.
What? That is...
Yep. Yeah. And
that's
they
insane.
Like, before he died, they had like beef. Yeah.
Shit.
Stanley Kubrick. Not Stephen King. He's still alive.
Did we talk about that in our celebrity beef episode? Because we absolutely should have. That's amazing.
Oh no, but yeah, he does not like the version of it, and like they were feuding for a long time. But Kubrick is so interesting, and yeah, I think that that kind of like here's Johnny and Jack Nicholson's face in it is so creepy. Like it just sticks with you. Iconic imagery throughout the years, and Shelley Duvall was like absolutely tortured on that movie. So real mayhem ensued from Kubrick making her do that scene like 90 times?
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Just about to say, I mean, Kubrick was amazing and there's no denying that. But like he tortured Shelley Duvall and she... Probably
other people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he was fucking terrible to work with, but he got some art out of it, and Shelley Duvall's performance is incredible. So, a great movie. Yeah,
incredible because she actually is being tortured.
Yeah, she's horrified. She's not acting. She is horrified.
She's horrified of this man. I would be too. I actually want to talk about a more modern show that I think is really, really popular now, and such like it is an anti-hero, and we've seen so many seasons of this show. But when I think of Murderous Marriage, I think of you, Joe Goldberg.
You think of
and
me?
Love. Yeah, I think of you. You're gonna murder Andrew.
I think of you.
I think of you.
I think Andrew would be more likely to murder me than the other way around. I think he'd just snap one day and be like, I can't take this bitch anymore. She's thinking about it. She's like, I don't know, Shauna.
I don't know.
You think of the show You.
Yes, I think of the show You with Joe Goldberg, which love Quinn and him. If I was having to say I woof you every single day. Have you never seen the show
I don't watch this show.
You've never seen it?
No, I've heard that the first couple seasons are really good and that it kind of falls off on the end.
It does.
How many seasons are there?
I think there's like 5 now, but the first 2 seasons are great.
Maybe I'll give it a whirl. I do need a new Alone show.
Yeah, he is a stalker and like an obsessive person, and you do not want to vote for him, but Penn Badgley plays him likable, but he ends up meeting Love Quinn, who's in season 2, and they are quite murderous together. And so it does become kind of like him meeting his match and things like that. And so when I think of couple who murder together, I always think of You. And, You is kind of set in New York City, Los Angeles, then it eventually moves to London. So there are some quite beautiful scenes within it, but it really goes over kind of like the modern day obsession, this man who is completely an incel and a stalker and uses kind of social media and everything there. He's very like unreliable narrator.
Interesting.
And people like Penn Badgley is very attractive. So people idolize him and call him hot and like are obsessed with Joe. And Penn Badgley is like, this man is a murderer. You should not lust after him. Like he's a terrible person and all this stuff.
Remember that study that came out? It must have been the 80s and 90s, like in real life, that you're more likely to trust somebody who's good looking,
attractive, yeah,
and then conventionally good looking. Like they showed a bunch of pictures to people between a conventionally attractive person and a conventionally unattractive person. It was like, who's nicer, who's friendlier, who's the better person? And even if you there's no way of knowing. Someone said the handsome and good looking people.
Yeah, that's why you get like a Ted Bundy, where people are like, oh, I'm likely to follow this stranger to a car.
Right.
He's attractive. Why would he hurt me?
You actually got me to watch another movie that you reminded me of just then with the killer couples, and it was Natural Born Killers. Oh
my God. How did I forget about that? That wins. That's the number one and most iconic.
Oh my God. Yeah, with Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis. So I just watched this movie for the first time, maybe within the last 6 months, because you told me to watch it. What a crazy movie.
Literally, if you guys have never seen it, like if you like a trippy, like almost like Tarantino-esque. It's not Tarantino, but it has that like vibe and feel. I almost said Woody Nelson. Woody Harrelson.
It'd be sick if Woody Nelson started a remake of this movie.
Yeah,
he can be in our lesbian remake of Mrs. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, we'll just murk him by pushing him over.
We murder Willie Nelson, not Woody
Nelson. There
we
go. Fuck. It's after work today.
Yeah, listen, It's been a long 4 years.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson in it, so hot.
Oh, he's
so
very hot.
Yeah.
So is Juliette Lewis. She's super hot in this too. They're both
also
fucking
Scientologist though. Don't love that about her. I know. I'm like, she is, and she's so iconic. She was like kind of raised in it. She's so iconic, and I fucking hate that she's a Scientologist because I'm like,
sucks.
You know me. You can't even support Will Smith anymore because of that.
No.
And Julia, she's out now. I don't think she's like super publicly distancing herself or like talking bad about the church, but she's out now.
She's not in the church anymore.
No, but
okay, we need that novel girl. We need you to go and call her daddy and talk about like leaving the church, and then we'll like you again.
But she's like one of those celebrities who is like her whole family's in there. So like a lot of the time they'll let like what's the 70s show, Laura, whatever her name is.
Oh, Laura Peepon.
Yeah,
Prepon.
Poopon.
Tampon. Peon.
Laura Tampon.
We are children.
Yeah. So they let her like kind of quiet exit from Scientology if they didn't want like a Leah Remini.
Yeah, they didn't want another Leah Remini situation where she does a tell-all novel and like spills all their tea.
Yes, but honestly, I'm so mad at myself that I didn't think of Natural Born Killers.
You're welcome.
That's so good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. I'm sure there are so many different, murderous couples and murder that happens in a marriage that we missed, that we didn't talk about. So if you do have one that you love, shoot us a DM, follow us on Patreon, and join the discussion there. We also have a community that you can join. But, there are so many different movies and things coming out right now that we've seen. We also have like Splitsville, where chaos ensues within a marriage.
I just thought of another one. Ready or Not.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I love that movie. And aren't they making a sequel already?
They are.
Yes.
They are.
I think Sarah Michelle Gellar is in it. I loved that movie. So that came out in the last at least 5 years or so, where
I think it was 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been pretty recent, where a couple gets married, and I won't spoil it because it is more of a new one. And she has to play a very violent game of hide and seek with his entire family. I love that movie. It's chaotic and crazy and bloody.
Literally amazing. I am obsessed with it.
Amazing. I'm just going to keep thinking of more and more. But yeah, we could go on and on about this.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I do want to ask, though, Olivia, if you were married and you found out your spouse was a killer, how would you react?
Okay, so I haven't thought about it if my spouse was, but I've actually had this conversation before about if you figured out that your child murdered someone, let's say like on accident, would you cover it up? And I have thought about it and I'm like, yes, I would.
Okay, JonBenét's mom, shit.
No, I'm not murdering the child. I'm saying my child murdered someone.
JonBenét's brother killed her, and then Patsy Ramsey covered it up.
No,
allegedly.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm not talking about if my child murdered my other child. I'm saying if my child murdered a different kid, right?
Okay.
And it was on accident, would I cover it up? Yeah.
You would?
But it'd have to be an accident. Like, if I thought my kid was, like, a fucking serial killer, like, no.
Put them away. Dude, the minute my kid starts doing serial killer shit, I'm, like, calling. Like, somebody come and get this thing out of my house.
Yeah.
Like, this kid just killed a rabbit. No. Out of the house. You're out. But Andrew and I have talked about this. And I think it just depends on the situation. Like, if he killed someone in self-defense, that's fine. I did tell him he's allowed to murder a man, but he's not allowed to murder any women.
Okay, any man for any reason, or in self-defense?
In self-defense, or if I provide him a name.
What if it? Okay.
Then it's fine.
What if it's like a murky self-defense? And like, if you just told him that, isn't he going to say like all of them are self-defense? Wouldn't anybody who gets caught for murder?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with it. Unless it was a woman. Don't kill a woman. Well, I was where I draw the line. Don't kill a child.
Even in self-defense.
No, let her take you down.
Okay.
Yeah, let her win. Good for her. She had a reason. I'm sure she had a good reason. But yeah, I guess it's nuance.
Would you help them cover it up, even if you said it was in self-defense, or would you be like, we're going to the cops?
This entire podcast episode is going to incriminate me someday. Someday it's going to come back. I don't know.
Who's murdering?
I don't
what
think
matter?
I don't. What matter? He's a nice guy.
What matter? Yeah, this is hypothetical. I have no child nor husband, so.
I think it depends on the situation. If he hypothetically killed someone who was on my list, somebody that we all wanted to see pass away, then yes, I would probably help him cover up the scene.
In that case, are you like helping him cover up an assassination? What's going on here?
What? That's not what I'm insinuating. Am I insinuating? Are you? Because I'm not. I would never.
I don't know. She's making a list. She's checking it twice. Better watch out.
I have a purge list. It's fine.
Andrew is a little short, so in that scenario, is he an elf?
Why does he need to be an elf to commit murder?
Because I said she's making a list. She's checking it twice. So.
It's like, what the fuck does Andrew being an elf have to do with him committing an assassination? He needs to be... Okay, you know what? That's better. If Andrew is a mythical creature and becomes an elf...
A queefer?
I'm a mythical queefer. And he's an elf. Then yes, political assassinations abound.
Okay. Just no women. Okay.
Just no women. No women.
So my answer is, I feel like if it were my child, yes. If it were my husband, no. Because I'd be like, you'd probably have to be like, it was an accident. And then would I really believe it? And then in my mind, I'd be like, they're going to murder me.
Yeah, see, that's why it couldn't be a woman. Like, it couldn't be a woman. But, like, if your husband, like, Luigi'd someone, I'll just say it. I'll just say it. If your husband Luigi'd someone.
So the only murder you're accepting is assassination.
I will accept if Andrew decides he wants to go full Luigi. Wahoo.
Okay. You're going to be a prison wife. Okay.
Hypothetically.
Okay. You're into it.
Andrew? If I murdered someone, would you forgive me?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's better fair. Than the immediate no for the husband.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think we'd have to have the terms.
Yeah.
I wouldn't help you bury the body.
Okay.
But like, I wouldn't ask questions.
You wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't ask questions. I feel like I might help you bury a body. But again, it depends on who he was, because it's a he.
Okay, yeah. I'm not murdering women. What am I, a monster?
No. Jesus Christ.
We went really deep into this, and this is recorded for the internets and the airwaves. So
the CIA agents that are assigned to us are having a field day right now.
Yeah, totally. Well, that's enough for our marital strife. Before we incriminate ourselves any further, Shauna, where can the listeners find you on social media?
You can find me, Shauna, on Instagram and Threads at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad.
And you can find me, Olivia, on Instagram at Livy Maries, LIVIMARIEZ. And you can find us online. Go to our website, popculture-junkie.com. From there, you can find the podcast on all platforms, as well as social media links, blog posts, and more. You can contact us, join our Pop Culture Junkie support group, follow, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Really helps us out, all that and more. Just tell us you like us, we are words of affirmation queens. Yes. We love it. And as we mentioned earlier, we would love it if you joined our Patreon. Every subscription helps us bring you more great episodes like this one. Find us at patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast. Sign up for those sneak peeks or get a super special shout out, or get a super special shout out from us, and come back next week for another hit of pop culture.
The Pop Culture Junkie podcast is produced by Jeff Markin and Cheryl Lightfoot for the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.
So